We're live streaming today again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, we are once again live streaming live from the Pacific Northwest, where we're all still in quarantine. I think this is day 935 of quarantine, give or take. Episode 24 of me live streaming every weekday when we're all locked inside. So I'm just trying to connect with folks. Hopefully this is a little bit of like my own personal social outlet, being able to like be sociable with people all around the world. Which I actually think is pretty dang cool that like even though I can't hang out with my friends and family like I always used to, I get to hang out with people all around the freaking world. Anybody can do that. So today, this is a bit of a throwback. One of the most popular videos on my channel is Little Debbie's eating so many Little Debbie's snack cakes that I just about exploded. So I saw these two. I don't think I've had these two before on the channel. Maybe I have. I don't know. But they look pretty delicious. So I thought I'd go ahead and pick them up. Let's see what all we got. All right, and fudge rounds with. Do we have any details on what fudge rounds are? I don't see any details about what they are, but they do look like they're chocolate cookies with chocolate filling and either a chocolate or caramel drizzle on the outside. Looks absolutely delicious. Everything that you could possibly need for a hearty, nutritious lunch. Oh my gosh. Come on, stay there. These things look good, but I think I'm gonna need something to drink alongside these. It's kind of funny that I'm getting like, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4 of my calories just right here in front of the camera every single day, because why not? 0 vitamins and minerals. Ooh, nice and soft. Oh man, kind of smells like hot cocoa in cookie form. Very, very good. I like that. I don't know if I'd have these things for like breakfast or a lunch snack or a dinner or dessert or what. Probably not for dinner, but maybe for dessert. That's really good. Just kind of like chocolate on chocolate on chocolate, but still. It's got a nice cocoa flavor. Very rich. Not too sweet. Just sweet enough that it's pretty delicious, pretty tasty. I really like these. I'm going to give them like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. They're much better than I expected them to be, honestly. So good. Fudge stripes. Oh, fudge rounds, that's what they're called. Well, we're all just hanging in there. Got MJC in the chat. How's it going? He says, hey, Steve, what's up? I'm doing pretty good. Still surviving. I am really sick of hanging out in my house by myself, but still surviving. Oh, my gosh. I know that Mother's Day is coming up. It's right around the corner. I don't know what I'm going to do for that. Like, obviously, we're probably not going to have a big family gathering. I don't know. Maybe we will. But... it's going to be kind of strange to, like, not get together with my parents or something on Mother's Day. But I am a little bit astounded at how long this quarantine thing has been going on. I mean, a month and a half ago, I would have thought, no way this could go until May. And now it looks like it's, like, people are planning on extending this through June. or at least to June. So it's such a drag. But I hope everybody out there is staying sane, staying healthy, all the good stuff. Obviously, quarantining is working. Got way fewer cases of people getting sick and dying out there. So, for folks that are kind of like putting up with it, thank you very much. It's obviously helping out a lot of people, keeping a lot of people safe. Eric Henderson says, "Hey Steve, how's it going? Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing fine. Nice and healthy, and always hungry for lunch. AJAT, you say you can't go wrong with fudge? Absolutely not. It's hard to find a time of day when that kind of snack would not be a good idea, so. I like these peanut butter cream pies, too. They're a little bit salty, which is just perfect for, like, post-workout. When you've got that really, like a really big craving for some salt, stuff like that. It's very tasty. And I know that a lot of people, see me eating like stuff on YouTube, because that's basically what I do. Sit down with a big pile of food, and you see me eating a lot of stuff. So today, obviously, if people clicked on this, you saw the title. Every now and then I'll see people like pointing out that all the food that gets eaten in an eating contest is just so wasteful. Obviously, I mean, gosh, all that food could be going to charity, to feed hungry people, everything like that, and it's so wasteful. It's just, such a disgrace. I shouldn't make fun of people like that, because those are legitimate concerns, and I definitely understand where people are coming from when they talk about those kinds of things, those kinds of concerns. Pardon me. But the reality is that like competitive eating is not super wasteful if you actually like sit down and think about it. Because right here in front of me is, I don't know how many hundreds of calories. Oh my god. 420 calories per cookie. And what are these? 260 calories per cookie. So the fudge rounds are actually the diet cookies in this case. So in this case, I don't know, you can do the math. There's 3,500, 4,000 calories in front of me. And if I ate them all, like that would be a lot of food. But the thing is that like beforehand and after an eating challenge or a food challenge or an eating contest, my calorie intake is way, way down. So like even though I have these giant spikes in how many calories I eat in a single day, like over a course of a week, it's really pretty nominal. It probably averages out to 2,500, 3,000 calories a day. And it is pretty strange that, like, nowadays doing this consistently every single day is really different for me. So I'm kind of curious how, like, my stomach capacity is probably going down since I haven't eaten just a giant amount of food in one sitting. I'm not doing that kind of thing quite as much as I used to. Instead of eating, like 1,000 calories on Monday, 1,000 calories on Tuesday, 9,000 calories on Wednesday, and then 1,000 calories on Thursday, and so on and so forth. Nowadays, it's pretty consistent, like 2,500 to 3,000 calories just about every single day. Even if it is, a lot of it is just this kind of junk. So if you think about it, like, if you want to talk about how wasteful I am with food, being a competitive eater, and somebody who does restaurant challenges and that kind of thing, like, that's absolutely fine. I'll hear people's opinion out on that. But, like, the fact that I run marathons and do triathlons and exercise a lot is way more wasteful than me competitively eating, because those kinds of activities are the things that really increase my overall food consumption, which, again, even if you think about it, like, America makes enough food to feed every single citizen 2 or 3 times over. So it's like there isn't even really a food shortage in America, right? The what causes hunger in America is primarily like an uneven distribution and a lack of access to food in certain areas. So saying that just eating a lot of food is wasteful and taking food away from other people somehow is it's kind of silly in my opinion. You know, before doing this, I wouldn't have thought to dunk these in milk. Like, I figured this is just going to be kind of like a milk and cookies kind of thing, but actually dunking these in milk is very, very good. So, like, I'm curious to know if anybody out there has ever, like, thought that competitive eating might be a little bit wasteful, might be, you know, resources being allocated to things that aren't quite as good. But I assume that most people who click on this and are watching the live stream are actual fans and don't consider competitive eating like a bane on society. Got a couple of other folks in the chat. AJAT says, one of my favorite snacks is the chocolate fudge brownie fiber 1 bar. That sounds incredibly bizarre. Sounds like dessert and healthiness all wrapped up in one. Why the heck not? Of course. No, the fiber 1 stuff actually tastes pretty good. I'm not going to knock it too bad. Eric Gunnarsson says, hey, how are you eating before a contest? How are you eating before a contest? Only rabbit food? When I go in before a contest, like, I'm always thinking of what I need to do to make myself want to eat as quickly as possible. So I almost always wake up early in the morning to go work out before doing a contest. And I will tailor the kind of exercise I do to the kind of food that's in the contest. So, for example, if I'm going to do a contest with lots of protein, then I'll go to the gym and do a lot of powerlifting. And probably eat, you know, some kind of like carb-rich breakfast, like a small energy bar or something like that. I'm not talking about, you know, a bunch of cereal or a bunch of rice or something like that. But, you know, it's something to help keep my energy up, make sure that I'm like really protein hungry going into that. Or, for example, the red beans and rice eating contest. I knew that was going to be a ton of carbs. So I went for a run beforehand. I would have gone to a sauna to try to like dry myself out, wring myself out. And if I remember right, I was drinking just water and a couple of like low glycemic energy bars, some of that Generation UCAN stuff, just to like get me through the morning to make sure that I was nice and satiated without getting too hungry before the contest. But I always go out of my way to make sure that I'm not eating a couple of hours before the contest, usually just drinking just plain water to make sure that I'm nice and salt deprived, since I think that salt is one of those underappreciated blockers for a lot of, I should say it's an underappreciated challenge in a lot of eating contests and food challenges, because salt really is an emetic, and if you eat too much salt, like your body will just stop swallowing things. So if you get yourself nice and salt deprived, that definitely helps a lot. And I do that sometimes by going to a sauna beforehand, making sure I'm just drinking straight water, no like sports drink, stuff like that. And I'll even go on a little bit of a lower carbohydrate diet for a day or two beforehand to make sure that I've got, you know, lots of cortisol. It kind of flushes out all that sodium, makes you nice and salt hungry. Got a couple of other folks. Celia Fennel, welcome to the chat. That's a new name, I believe. Says, do you run every day? No, I don't run every day. Actually, I'm a lot of people like who know me personally think that I'm this amazing endurance athlete and that I work out every day. But honestly, I'm very prone to injury. Like I'm a very fragile runner. So if I did try to run every day, I would get injured. I can only run 2 or 3 days in a row without, you know, risking getting injured. Marlo Newkirk, looks like. Welcome to the chat. Welcome aboard. Thanks for watching the live stream. It says Nature Valley bars are literal crumbs. Sweet. Second like. Love the fudge rounds and almost everything made by Little Debbie. Yeah, Little Debbie does a lot of great stuff. I think that Little Debbie might... I've said it before, I think Little Debbie beats out Hostess. Hostess is good, but I do think that it's a little bit overrated. Like, I think that it doesn't deserve quite as much hype as it gets. So I think Little Debbie probably beats those guys out. Now, I have been thinking about what I'm going to do before the Coney Island hot dog eating contest, because I remember going into the qualifier that I did in Salt Lake City. I was driving all day. I drove for like 3 days straight to get to Salt Lake City. And I was eating very, very little. I didn't really know how to prepare for it, because I know that hot dogs are mainly fat, grease, and salt. And unfortunately, driving to it, I was using a lot of those beta-hydroxybutyrate salts to keep my energy up, because I try not to overdo the caffeine. But beta-hydroxybutyrate salts, as their name implies, very high in sodium. So I think I was a little overloaded with sodium going into that qualifier. And the salt content of those hot dogs was easily the limiting factor that made me stop and almost gag on hot dogs near the end. So, like, when I finished that contest, my stomach, I had a decent amount of room. I was definitely full of hot dogs. I'd eaten 32, so it's pretty stuffed, but I had enough room to, like, eat some more food if I really wanted to. So going into Coney Island, I think I'm going to have to find some way to, like, hit a sauna beforehand. And, just go salt-free for a couple of days to make sure that I'm nice and salt-deprived. But hot dogs don't have a ton of protein in them, so I don't know if I'd go out of my way to really worry about making my body like super protein starved, even though they are meat. They're mostly fat. So yeah, I think going into that it would probably be a long cardio day, maybe with a little bit of weightlifting, and a long sauna session with plenty of water beforehand to make sure that I am nice and hydrated, but salt deprived. So if you do strip, or if you do want to, like, reduce your salt, I know if you eat too much salt, you get this kind of water retention, or it kind of like inflames all your joints and stuff like that. And counterintuitively, like, the way that you combat that to get rid of water retention is to drink a ton of water and make sure that it is free of salt, typically free of carbohydrate too. As I think if you do consume a lot of carbohydrate, it tends to let your body hang on to salt a little bit better. I think the idea there is that with carbohydrate, you tend to also like induce an insulin response, which makes you store all kinds of nutrients, whether it's carbs and fat, stored in your adipose tissue, or whether it's salt stored in wherever your body stores sodium. I don't know. So yeah, I think a couple of days before Coney Island, if it actually happens this year, oh my god, I really hope that it happens. Even if it's like an empty warehouse and it's, me, Branimal, Brett Healy, who else is there? Katie Prittiman, and Sophia DeVita, along with all the, the incumbent competitors, just like in an empty warehouse in New York. I think that would be pretty crazy if we tried to do something like that. But going into it, I learned a lot of lessons in Salt Lake City. I've been practicing a little bit with the hot dogs, not quite as much as I probably should. I watched a video of Nick Weary doing a hot dog eating practice, and I was like, oh man, I gotta step it up if I think I'm gonna even stand a chance to stand up to some of those folks on Coney Island. No matter what happens, I think it'll be cool. Cool on 4th of July, whatever they do. I know Sam Barkley. Who are the other guys? I've only met Sam Barkley from Major League Eating, so that's why I know him. There's the Shea brothers, Richard Shea, and somebody else whom I am forgetting. But yeah, I know that they go out of their way to make sure that all the shows that those guys put on are pretty great. So I expect that they have a plan and a backup plan and a plan C just to make sure that Coney Island 4th of July hot dog eating contest actually happens. Oh no. Did I drop some fudge cookie out of my mouth and I didn't even notice? That's a little gross. Here's a little bit of ASMR for you guys. I can make it nice and smooth, talk nice and get my radio voice going. You know, I was looking at the tags that people use and the search terms that people often use before finding my videos. And I noticed that on a few of them, ASMR came up, which is a little bit strange because I've never thought of myself as an ASMR YouTuber, but maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Eric Gunnarsson, ASMR. Heck yeah! I can't even remember what it stands for, but oh yeah. Frederic, welcome to the chat. Says, hey Steve, having a massive eating capacity, do you feel satisfied on a regular eating day? Oh my gosh. My hunger cues are all messed up. Frederic, if I remember right, you said you were French-Canadian? You're probably from Ottawa or something along those lines, so I assume that that's a French-Canadian name, which is a cool name, by the way. I like your last name. That's very cool. I couldn't even imagine exactly how it's pronounced, but yeah, cool name. I like it. BTW, everyone in the chat, give this video a thumbs up now. Do it right now. Yeah, if everybody watching this video gave it a thumbs up, I'd have like 13 likes right now. That'd be so awesome. HAT, you say, ooh, my eye's twitching a little bit. Maybe that's because I have an electrolyte imbalance that's causing twitchy muscles. Oh no. ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up exactly what that is. Like, I understand it's kind of like you get this, oh my goodness, what's the term for it? When you have like crosstalk between your senses in your brain. Synesthesia. Synesthesia? I believe that's how it's pronounced. Synesthesia. So I assume it's a little bit like that, where like you hear certain sounds and it kind of like stimulates certain parts of your brain. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. But goodness knows, like, you guys can see, I don't even use a pop filter with this. So every time I announce or use a hard consonant, I'm sure it sounds a little bit like I'm tapping on this thing. So if I did use a pop filter, I just don't have any way to like really set it up in front of this microphone too well, because I do have one, but the stand on it just can't grab onto the edge of this table, doesn't hang on to this like mic stand very well. So yeah, if I had a better audio setup, I might be able to do that. And also, this just isn't like a super great environment for audio recording. I know some YouTubers say that the best audio recording setup that they can find is just like lining the inside of their coat closet with a bunch of sheets and just like sitting, huddling in this tiny room recording. Then again, I do work at Microsoft, so I wonder if I could sneak into one of their anechoic chambers, do some audio recording in there. That'd be pretty killer. Yeah, if you guys want to see something really crazy, you should do an image search of anechoic chambers. You could probably find an article about them online. And Microsoft has I can't even remember how many it is. I think 6, maybe it was 9 anechoic chambers, like small anechoic chambers for testing use and testing their audio hardware and setup and stuff like that. And it's very fascinating stuff. Anechoic chambers, they're incredibly weird. Let's see, catching up on a couple of the comments. Let's see, AJAT. Oh yeah, you mentioned what ASMR is. Zeppy-ish says, Steve, quit the small nibbles and just get the Edwards frozen pies. You are obsessed with those Edwards frozen pies. One of these days, man, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have Edwards frozen pies for lunch. Honestly, the reason why I don't have Edwards frozen pies more often is because they're so dang expensive. They are not cheap. Oh my goodness. Eric Gunnarsson, thumb is delivered. Bam! I'll give you guys a thumbs up. I'll give you guys 2 likes. 2 likes for everyone in the chat. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I can log into this thing. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to see if what's this going to look like? Oh, boom, look at that. There's my awesome background. Oop, can't do anything there. I love those bicycles. I still remember that Ironman triathlon. I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to give myself a like, because that's just the kind of guy that I am. All right, there we go. Enough shenanigans. MJC, synesthesia. Yeah, that's the one. It's a very strange condition. I remember when I was at DigiPen, one of the game teams, I should say, made a game called Synesthete, and it was this very, very whacked out, bizarre. It was almost like Geometry Wars, if you've ever seen that. It was like a precursor to that, and it was this very oh my gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. Just pulsing colors, pulsing music. It was kind of a trip to watch it. Like, it's the kind of game that you might, do best to play with a little bit of LSD or something like that. Michael says, hey Steve, welcome to the chat. You asked what I studied in university. I got my bachelor's degree in computer engineering, which makes me probably the most charismatic and outgoing computer engineer in the world. But yeah, we're not typically known for our shining personalities. Went to DigiPen to get my degree in computer engineering. Frederick asks, how do you spell those Microsoft chambers? So it's anechoic. I believe it's spelled Anechoic. They're not unique to Microsoft, but they're used for there are these very specialized chambers with these very weird walls with foam cones on the side of them that are specifically set up so that they don't echo. So you can test, audio going towards an audio device or audio being emitted from an audio device and not have any disturbance from the walls around it. It's a very strange, I'm not an audio expert or an audiophile by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, it's a very cool concept. And I went and visited them a couple of times, and they're pretty cool. I like them. They're pretty killer. Produce Not Pills says, your thumbs are so straight, lol. Yep. AJAT say, you think Edwards Pies makes a Hershey's flavored pie? Just Googled it. They do. Hershey's is my favorite chocolate. I love every single bar except Mr. Goodbar. Yeah, I think it's great that... I wonder if Edwards, if their company is owned by Hershey's or something like that, because they've got a lot of different candy bar crossover pies. Like, they do a Reese's, they do the Hershey's. I think they do a Crunch or something like that. Lots of good stuff. Got a couple more comments. I think I'm going to have to wrap it up pretty soon because we've been going for about a half an hour. Frederick says, cool, man. I'll look it up. Thanks. Yeah, anybody, just look up, just do an image search on those things. They're so cool. They're so cool looking. I mean, they look almost alien. And if you ever get a chance to stand inside one, that is a trip. It is incredible. Eric Winokur says, hey, Steve, everyone. Love the Little Debbie's and Hostess. Any other brand snack cakes? Oh, and any other brand snack cakes. Yeah, absolutely. They're all pretty good. I've had a couple that are a little bit, but that's all right. I think they're mostly pretty good. Even the store brand stuff, like I've noticed the Walmart store brand like knockoffs are actually pretty good of Little Debbie stuff. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for me for today. I'm going to eat one or two more of these, but I hope folks are, you know, like keeping sane out there. I hope you guys are having a good time. I finally got done editing that McDonald's challenge. So I think that's going to go up again this Saturday. I'm going to try to keep up with one video every week. Don't hold me to that, though. Probably not going to make a video every single weekend, but I'm going to try my best to do it. So I hope everybody is staying safe and staying sane out there. Hope you're loving your family. Hope you're loving your friends. And until next time, catch it. I kind of fumbled those words. And until next time, peace out, and I'll catch you guys later. Boy, I am so great with words.